Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of Go the Distance, because life doesn't stand still. I'm set to go on air on Mile High Radio on November 7th at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so please check that out. Give me a download, and you'll be supporting not only me, but you'll be supporting Mile High Radio, which I'd like to give a big thank you to everyone there for making all of this possible. And thank you to my supporters so far and to my supporters to come. I really look forward to this new journey in life, and today's topic is about anxiety and being positive. So for me, being able to be positive and happy, even though there's things to worry about and things to get you down, it's really important to do those things, but it's also quite difficult and it takes a lot of practice. So when you start noticing your patterns of negative thinking, you have to stop it and make it positive by changing your thoughts or saying no to the thoughts that you don't want to be having or that you don't want to be giving any attention to. And hey, Rebecca, how's it going? Welcome. Thank you for stopping by and joining the show. By the way, for anyone who doesn't know, you can be a part of the chat. If you follow me on Facebook, I will be recording the videos through Facebook Live. And if you want to be a part of the show, hop on the chat there and I'll definitely read out your comments. Sorry, where was I? So yeah, for me, it's really important to take on life's challenges with a positive attitude and to really think about the choices that you're making and the thoughts that you're having and where those thoughts can lead you. Because when you think about things in a negative way or with a negative light, then that creates a negative view of the world, and that's all you see. So when you start looking at things with a positive light or a lens, then you start to notice more positive things, and the more things that you notice and pay attention to, the more it becomes a habit. So the first step for me in helping my anxiety was to be aware of how much time I was spending on what activities. So when I was first figuring out kind of how I wanted to live my life and how I was spending my time, I really started to think about how much I was working and spending time on things that weren't necessarily like something, well, I don't want to say that either. I don't want to say I didn't enjoy it, but I feel like I was either working, cooking, cleaning, going to class, or doing homework, and it all felt kind of like obligations. So I decided to start spending time on something that was just for me. So that at first was the gym. I started going to the gym quite regularly. It was about like 3 or 4 times a week. And I would go for like 1.5 or 2 hours, depending on the day. So by choosing to spend my time on something that was for me, I was not only taking care of my physical health, I was also taking care of my mental health, because I was actually achieving something that I set my mind to and reaching a goal that I wanted to reach. Not that by working and going to university I wasn't doing those things, but those things are so long-term and so you have to invest a lot into them, into university and into your work, and in order to see results. And so that long-term investment can sometimes be unfulfilling. And so by doing small things that feel good and give you that sense of achievement, it helps you keep working towards those even bigger goals that you're working on. Even as I was saying in the last episode, I would watch movies occasionally, but going to the gym was really like the first thing that I did that I actually felt good about, because like sitting on the couch and watching movies, yeah, it's fun and it's enjoyable and relaxing, but it doesn't really give you that same sense of satisfaction as actually like going out and doing something. I was able to go from being almost 200 pounds to now I'm only 130 pounds. And I actually have some muscle, not a lot, but before I had none. So yeah, it feels good to actually like physically do something, and it helps me with my anxiety because it gives me that workout and gives my body what it needs to like keep circulation going and keep your muscles oxygenated because you're actually using them and working them, not just like getting up and down from your desk or off the couch or those kinds of things. Um, so basically, my experience at the gym, it involved not only working out, but paying attention to my diet and changing what I was eating. So I started off just working out. I changed my portion sizes and I reduced the amount of junk food that I was eating, but I was still like maintaining my weight and even gained a bit of weight because of the muscle I had built. But I hadn't lost any of the fat that I was hoping to, and it had been 8 months of going to the gym 3 or 4 times a week. And I was just like, okay, something else has to change. So I started doing some research into diet, and around the same time, my younger sister was diagnosed with some food allergies. So I started to really pay attention to what I was putting in my body and what I was eating. And in doing so, I found out that a lot of my weight was coming from like gluten, which it makes sense. It's carbs and things like that. And but after about 2 months, I'd lost 20 pounds, and I was still going to the gym. And then so that was I started going to the gym in January, and that was in like September that I stopped eating gluten. And then I think it must have been it was over Christmas break. I cut out dairy from my diet for a few weeks, and after that, I lost about like 10 pounds or so. I still do eat dairy occasionally, and I definitely like bloat out when I do. Um, the next thing I cut out was corn, and that was kind of incidentally. I had done it when I cut out gluten because I stopped eating processed foods as well. I wasn't eating like snack foods or anything like that. So um, when I was changing my diet, I started reading labels and I started realizing, wow, there's like a lot of things in food that we don't really realize. And so anyways, I cut out corn in April and I lost a lot of weight. I lost like 40 pounds in a month. And I was like, whoa, that was fast. But it also showed me why I was getting migraines and things over my life because I found out I'm allergic to corn. And now if I have any corn products, I get a really bad migraine. So yeah, once I figured out like my food allergies, I kind of wondered if my food intake was affecting how I felt and my anxiety. So um, now that I've cut those things out and I eat a lot better, I've noticed that I feel a lot better. And I'm not a doctor or a scientist, but I feel like they go, they're correlated. They go hand in hand. Another thing that I started to do in university is I took an art class and I was teaching myself how to draw and how to paint a little bit. So those kinds of things are creative and they give you, me anyways, a sense of achievement. And I find that quite relaxing because you can kind of like look back at what you've done or what you've put your work into and see everything that you've done. And I don't know, I just find something enjoyable about making or drawing or creating something. Another thing I realized in university with, going to the gym, working, and being a student, I found that being prepared helps promote self-confidence and helps things go smoothly. So by having what you need done ready ahead of time, you have time to make sure you have everything and think about things that could happen that you could prepare for ahead of time without, you don't end up rushing and thinking of it all at the last minute when you're planning. So I'm just kind of saying a bunch of random things that help me think when I think about anxiety. So another thing is that keeps me from having time to be anxious is by being busy and productive. So I've always got a project, and part of that comes from taking those art classes. So now I have little drawing projects on the go all the time. Sometimes I forget about them for a couple years, but anyways, what can you do? Yeah, so by having a project or something to work on, it keeps my mind active and engaged, and I think that helps because you don't have time to think about what you're worrying about because you're thinking about what you're doing. You're in the present moment. I'm always working hard to be learning something, so if I'm not drawing or writing or doing something like that, I've been taking a little French course on this app, or doing anything that I'm interested in at the time. It always changes. Another great way to help with anxiety is to talk to people because it puts things into perspective and it helps you avoid overthinking things. Thanks for all the thumbs up and the hearts. I also like to try to be honest with myself about how a situation came to be or how the choices that I've been making or the way I've been acting. By being honest, it's easier to problem solve because you're not telling yourself, oh, well, it wasn't that big of a deal, or oh, I should have, or it was okay, or whatever, because then you just keep going with the problem and you don't realize oh, actually, yeah, if I do this a little bit differently, then that wouldn't be a problem, or that would make it easier, or however you want to look at it, depending on what the situation is. Another way to help myself is to feel happy and proud for what I've achieved so far. So I have some really big goals that I want to achieve in my life, and I know, and it's kind of like what I said earlier, I know it's going to take a long time to achieve them, but by constantly reminding myself why I'm doing what I'm doing, it helps me stay motivated and keep me working towards those big goals. It also keeps me motivated for the small goals because it helps me work towards something more, again, more achievable and more I don't know, more immediate, I guess. Oh yeah, I also put on here going to the gym and going from being almost 200 pounds to 130 pounds. That's another way that I prove to myself that I can work hard towards what I want, because I couldn't have achieved what I wanted if I didn't work hard. It's just not physically possible. To lose weight, you have to actually work hard. Excuse me. And by choosing to work hard and to devote myself to working out and to building muscle, it was very interesting for me because I tried to lose weight before, get in shape before, but I wasn't successful, and I just kind of gave up on it after a while, but this time I actually did it, and I feel so proud that I was able to. So yeah, by doing things you love and taking care of yourself, you can change yourself from being an anxious person to not being anxious. Just got to be positive and notice the small things. I would celebrate every pound that I lost because it was one closer to the goal that I had set. And I know it's not really about pounds, but for me, my idea was to be at a weight where I felt comfortable with my body, where I didn't feel like I was bulging out of my things, my clothing, my whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I have to add for this episode. Guess this is kind of an awkward ending because I just said that. But anyways, thanks again for tuning in. Thanks for all the thumbs up and everything and the hearts. And I really look forward to recording another episode. I'm thinking about doing it late, but I may wait until, I don't know, partway through the week or something like that, depending on how my day goes tomorrow. So yeah, thanks again for stopping by, and thanks for watching this. And this episode will be on Thursday, November 9th at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So check it out on milehighradio.com/talk. And remember, go the distance because life doesn't stand still.